Hello, everybody. We are back with another episode of Live at Five with SFC Defined. Certainly glad that you're able to join me today. Such a beautiful day outside. I hope you are maximizing the sunshine and going out and enjoying this amazing day, this amazing Sunday for all of the Christian folk. It's Palm Sunday and great big celebration as we look forward to next week and all of that stuff. So just want to make sure that you are maximizing and taking advantage of this beautiful sunshine. So listen, we have started a new series just last week, a series called Breaking the Cycles. And for those of you that were on last week, we spent some time sort of kind of talking about our own personal cycles that we have identified in our lives. And I appreciate you guys because so many of you shared your personal stories about the different cycles that you were able to identify in your life as you have matriculated through life. So thank you for that. We're just going to take it a little bit further today and realize not only what these cycles are, but where they are. Over the past week, I've sort of kind of given it a little bit more thought about the cycles that we encounter and that hold us back. And just keep in mind, as we established last week, that we are talking about negative cycles that has arisen in our lives because there is such a thing as a positive cycle. So we just want to make sure that we get that clear. There are some cycles that show up and that we create in our lives that really take us to the next level. It takes us to a place that we see that forward progression. So we are specifically talking about the uh, the negative cycles that are in our lives. So let's get going because again, you guys did an amazing job talking to me last week about that. So I hope you guys are going to talk back to me today, and we're going to have some good conversation going. But we're going to go because I don't want to worry your patience long. So first of all, I think that we need to define specifically what a cycle is. And a cycle is a series of events that are regularly repeated. A series of events that are regularly repeated, which means that there are certain areas in your life that then you may be good. Everything is moving forward. You see that progression. You see that constant moving forward. For example, professionally or career wise, you're constantly moving forward. You're climbing that corporate ladder. You're making all the right moves, meeting all the right people, rubbing elbows at the right time with the right people. And there is a constant, steady progression in your life. But in relationships, you keep attracting the same caliber of people that pull you down, the same caliber of people that always seems like they are coming into your life to manipulate you, to use you, take advantage of you in one way or another. So cycles can be uh, area specific in your life. It doesn't have to consume every aspect of your life, but it is area specific. So that's one of the things that I want you to keep in mind as we move forward. That there are areas in your life that you get caught up in these negative cycles in, while other areas are thriving and having you move forward. So I want you to take a moment while I'm talking is just think about where these cycles are, these negative cycles in particular. Where are they? And why do they keep showing up in your life? They are constantly being repeated over and over. I think one of the things, as I thought about this, one of the things that is a um, identifying trait, for lack of a better way of saying it, is look at the area in your life that lacks that steady progression. Look at the area in your life where it seems that you've become stagnant and there is no growth. Nothing has changed over a period of time. And I believe that that's where you're able to identify one of those negative cycles. We're not talking about the good cycles. Keep that in mind. We're talking about those negative cycles. And I believe one identifying element of where a cycle is, whether you realize it or not, is the lack of progression that's moving towards or moving you forward to where you want to go. You know, if you are that person that wants to be married, but then it seems like every relationship is a dead end, then here's the thing: you are in a cycle. You're in a cycle of negativity. If you are wanting to move up the corporate ladder, but you still are being overlooked for promotions and nobody's paying any attention to your qualifications or your professionalism, there's a reason why that is. So we're going to identify some of the areas that our cycles are showing up in that we may not even have put the two together and realize that that's a negative cycle that keeps showing up in your life. And I need for you to do that because at this point, you ought to be ready to move forward. You know, you don't want to leave one area behind. When you move forward, you want every area in your life to move forward. That's how you create that perpetual happiness. That's how you are happy and that's how you are whole and nothing is lacking because every area in your life is moving in that progressive state, just like the next. So identify where you are stagnant, whether it's financial, relationship wise, health wise, whatever the case may be, that's a cycle. That is a cycle. That's why you keep attracting the same thing. That's why things don't change in that particular area for you. So, how do I get things to change? How do we get things to start moving forward that we have identified that has become stagnant, the areas that are not in that steady progression? How do we move forward? Well, you can't change your outer experiences until you change your inner thoughts. Okay. That's how it becomes a cycle. And whether we realize it or not, whether we choose to admit it or not, we are our own worst enemy. We talk so negative to ourselves. And again, this can be area specific. Say, for example, you are a force to be reckoned with in the corporate world. You know, you empower yourself, you motivate yourself. I'm going after that position, I'm going after that title. I want the corner office with the best view. And you have no problem talking to yourself and empowering yourself to go out and make the best moves. On the flip side of that, when we're talking about relationships or whatever, you know, you talk down on yourself. Nobody, I can ever find anybody that will treat me the way I want to be treated. I'm always attracting people that want me for my money or want me for my body or want me for whatever. This is what I want. You do it to yourself. You do it to yourself because what you think on the inside, your thoughts, inadvertently shows up in every life experience you have. So because you keep talking to yourself and telling yourself this is the type of person you attract, because your thoughts, you have become cycle driven, or that particular area has become cyclical to you because you keep self detrimenting yourself, if that's even a phrase or a word. It goes some kind of way together. In other words, you are your worst enemy, okay? And I need for you to break that cycle. And the only way that you can break that cycle is by changing the way you think about yourself, changing the way you talk. Be as empowering in your talk in relationships as you are in your talk in the corporate world. Be as empowering in your finances and stop saying, oh, I'm going to be broke the rest of my life. You know, my family didn't ever have any money, so I guess I won't have any money. Or my family, there's this generational thing that goes through. Cancer always runs in my family, so I guess I'm going to die of cancer. Hypertension always is in my family. My daddy died, my mama, all of that stuff. You are speaking over your own life, which means that you are creating your outer experiences. It's got to come. That's just the law of attraction. It's going to come. So what you have to do, if you want new outer experiences, you have to literally have new inner thoughts first. What happens on the outside in your outer world is always a reflection of what's going on in your inner thoughts. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a second. And I'm going to repeat it again. What happens in your outer world, your life experiences, are always, always, always a reflection of what's going on in your mind. And if you don't believe it, just become consciously aware of your thoughts, which drives your words, the stuff that come out of your mouth. Watch it. Just spend a half a day thinking about your thoughts and the kind of thoughts that run through your mind as it relates to your finances, as it relates to your health, as it relates to your relationship, as it relates to your career. Think about the area that you are stagnant in. Think about an area that you struggle with all the time. And it is because you're thinking it. You're thinking it. If you want to change what comes to you, you got to change what you allow happens in you, what you allow to happen in you. Okay. So think about that. And I want you to, for a moment, absorb all of that. Absorb that. Think about that. Okay. Think about that. Every experience that you experience in life had to happen because you thought about it at one form. And it could have been something as a fleeting thought. It doesn't have to be something that you dwell on. It can literally be a thought that pops up in your head that you embrace as a belief. You know, if you believe it, it's going to happen. If you believe it, it's going to happen. So change your thoughts. I don't care what your family bloodline has said to you. You can change the outer experiences that you have by changing your inner thoughts. And that's how you break those cycles. That's how you break the cycle of bad health, bad relationships, bad financial management, and all of that stuff. So trust me, I have tried it and it has literally worked and changed my life because now I have become very conscious of what thought I allow to linger in my head. And then I'm even more conscious or even more aware of what I allow to come out of my mouth because, contrary to popular opinion, every word that falls out of your mouth has a creative power. All of our words have a creative power. Now, either you're going to create something that's positive or you're going to create something that's negative. The choice is absolutely all yours. It ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. It is all you. Every experience came as a result of your thoughts. And as you think it, you say it. The more you say it, you will eventually see it. Think it, say it, see it. I guarantee you every single time. So watch what you think, change your thoughts. So here's what we're going to do. I have an assignment for you guys this week, okay? This week, I want you to write a letter, and I want you to entitle this letter, Dear Self. Okay, that's what you're going to put at the top of the paper, Dear Self. And you're going to write down every cycle that you can come up with. You're going to start out by thinking, okay, this is what I want to change. This is what I see as an area in my life that is stagnant. I don't want it to be stagnant anymore. I want it to move forward. So on a piece of paper, you're going to write that, and anything that you want to change, that's how you're going to start off. And I want you to start this. I'm just going to give you a writing prompt. Okay, this is the teacher side coming out at me. I'm going to give you a writing prompt. The writing prompt is, I used to think, and then you get to fill in the blank. I used to think that nobody liked me. I used to think, you're going to put it in the past tense. I used to think that I only attracted people that wanted to use me. I used to think that I would never be where I want to be in corporate America. I used to think I would never have a loving relationship. Now, whatever you put in there, and you can let this letter be as long as you need it to be, okay? But you're going to start that letter out with the writing prompt, I used to think. And once you identify any and everything that you want to change in your life, You're going to close out the letter by saying, but now I believe. But now I believe. So I used to think that I would never have anybody. I used to think I would never meet the right person. But now I believe the right person is going to come to me. Now I believe that my success is waiting on me. Now I believe that I'm going to have the best job with the best boss and all that stuff. So you get to do that. Okay. Once you do all of that, I used to think, and then go in, but now I want you to take that letter and I literally want you to burn it. Okay. Don't shred it. Don't tear it up. I want you to burn it. Okay. All of that negative stuff, all of that negative stuff, we're getting rid of it. We're going to break these cycles today. Okay. We're going to break those cycles and we're going to get rid of all of the negative thoughts, the things that used to hold us down, that would create those negative experiences. And we're going to believe that things are getting ready to turn in our favor. And the only way that you can do that is breaking these cycles. That's why we are spending the time this month talking about breaking cycles, breaking the cycles of fear, breaking the cycle of worry, breaking the cycle of doubt, breaking the cycle of depression, breaking the cycle of financial insecurity. We're breaking the cycle of so many things, and you have to go within yourself and be brave enough to find out where these cycles are. What area of your life are you struggling in? What area of your life that you know there is more, that you know there is better for you, but it seems like you just can't jump that first hurdle? You've got to do it, because I promise you, once you get over that first hurdle and you start breaking those cycles by changing the way you think, everything else is going to come, because then you can convince yourself, you can empower yourself in this area, just like you empowered yourself in the areas where you see that constant progression. So that's my challenge for you this week, that you will identify the areas of your life that you have created cycles in, detrimental cycles, negative cycles, cycles that have caused you to become stagnant. And you got to be honest with yourself. Nobody has to see the letter. You have to literally be honest with yourself and find out where these cycles are. And again, one determining factor that you can use is, where is my life stagnant? Where have I not seen any progression in my life over the past year or 2 years? Says, can you have your staff post the assignment? Yes, we can post the assignment. I sure can. I'll put the writing prompt up there and everything that you need to do. Okay. Thanks, Pastor Clark, for chiming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, you have to be honest with those cycles, and you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, it ain't nobody else's business. I just need for you to be honest with yourself. Nobody can break the cycles for you. You want to know why nobody can break the cycles for you? Because didn't nobody else create the cycles for you? They can't break them because they didn't create them. Once you identify what those cycles are, then you have all of the power to break those cycles. And like I was saying, as I come to a close, one identifying marker, or one identifying characteristic in your life where a cycle has sort of kind of taken over, is, what area in your life have you become stagnant in? What area of your life has not been progressive? And once you identify which area, I guarantee you there is a negative cycle that's associated with that area's stagnancy. I guarantee you, if you be honest with yourself, there is a cycle that has been associated with your inability to move forward. Yeah, nobody can break the cycles but you, because nobody created them but you. So identify those cycles. And remember, we talked some time ago about limiting beliefs, and we all have those. We've grown up with them. Somebody somewhere said we couldn't do something, we couldn't have something, we couldn't be something. And we bought into that. We literally allowed our thinking to embrace the belief that we couldn't do, we couldn't be, we couldn't have. That's a cycle. You've got to break that cycle. You literally have to break that cycle, because the truth of the matter is, you can be, do, and have anything that your little heart's desire, but you've got to break the cycle first. Remember, nothing happens in your outer experience without it first happening in your inner thoughts. Nothing happens. So identify where those cycles are. Take a moment this afternoon, tomorrow, at some point next week, and find out where that place of stagnancy is, and go in, find that cycle and break it. Once you identify what that cycle is, take out that piece of paper and start. The writing prompt that I gave you is I used to think. Once you write down everything about those limiting beliefs, about that cycle, I used to think that I wouldn't have money. I used to think that I would never be well again. I used to think that I would never get through that period in my life where everything fell apart. I used to think, and then you're going to fill in all the blanks. I want you to do that, and then I want you to tear it up. I want you to burn it. Don't tear it up. I want you to burn it, because you're going to get rid of all of those uh, cycles in your life with how you used to think. And then you go into, but now I believe. But now I believe. I believe that I don't have to die of cancer just because somebody said it was in my bloodline. I don't have to have diabetes just because the last 4 people that died in my family had it. I don't have to be poor just because nobody ever graduated from college in my family. All of this, I believe that I am able to do anything, and you can do anything. All right. So identify those cycles, and let's make a change for the better, y'all. We got to do it. We got to do it. It's all about evolving and getting better, having more, doing more, being more is what our mantra is for 2022. We're going to have more, do more, be more, and we're going to be the best version of ourselves. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your comments. And as always, 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 just know that we're in this together. We're climbing together. We're evolving together. We're growing together. So until next week, don't forget, do your assignment. We'll post it so you'll know exactly what to do. But until next week, stay safe. All right. You guys stay strong, stay focused, stay confident, stay defined. All right. Talk to you guys next week.